Welcome back here on Live Now from Fox, 8:33 on the East Coast and 5:33 on the West Coast. We are taking a live look over San Francisco there as the sun is starting to rise. California Governor Gavin Newsom issuing an executive order for the removal of homeless encampments all over the state. The order will direct state agencies on how to remove the thousands of tents and makeshift shelters that line freeways, pack the shopping center parking lots, and fill the city parks. The order does make clear that the decision to remove the encampments, though, does remain in local hands. To help break down all of this, the legalities and everything, I do want to bring in Grant Shostak, a visiting assistant professor at Webster University. Thank you so much, as always, for taking the time to be here with us today.
Thanks for having me, Josh.
Of course. Well, first off, I do want to ask you to break down what this executive order actually does and also what it doesn't do.
Right. So this order directs state agencies to begin developing policies to address homeless encampments in a humane and dignified manner, and then to begin enforcing the laws related to those encampments. It also encourages local agencies to do the same, but it cannot force those local agencies to actually take action.
How overall does an executive order differ from going along and passing a law?
So an executive order is just like it sounds. In this case, the executive, Governor Newsom, issued an order directing state agencies essentially on how they're to conduct business. A law, on the other hand, is passed through the state legislature and goes through the legislative process. Now, this order will have the effect of law as it relates to those agencies because they are directed to follow the mandates of this order.
Earlier this summer, the Supreme Court did make a ruling. They released a ruling there on essentially allowing bans to be enacted for people who are sleeping outdoors. How does that factor into all of this?
Right. That Supreme Court case, City of Grants Pass versus Johnson, really is key to this executive order. It's even referenced specifically in the order. And that case decision essentially gave a green light to cities to begin enforcing laws related to homeless encampments.
Is there any other, let's say, legal avenue for groups, organizations that oppose this to go? Can anything be done?
Right. So it's not uncommon that executive orders are challenged in court as unconstitutional or beyond the executive's authority to issue those. So those are possibilities, as well as you have to remember that if someone is charged with an offense related to these laws, they have available any defenses that a defendant would have in any criminal case. The Supreme Court case even referenced the possibility of raising the defense of necessity.
Is there any way to know now if the executive order is actually going to have any sort of effect on the homeless crisis that is taking place over there in California, or is it kind of a wait and see situation?
So homelessness is a very complex issue. And, just issuing this order, I think this is something we're going to have to wait and see how this plays out. There are studies that have indicated that simply removing homeless encampments does little to reduce homelessness, but it's a very complex issue, and we're just going to have to wait and see.
Is California the only state that's really done something like this? And does it appear that maybe some other states are going to follow suit and do this as well?
So in terms of executive orders, it's the only one that I'm aware of, but I am confident that other states are going to be looking at what happens here and using that as a guidepost for how they're going to take action. So I think a lot of states are following this very closely.
All right, Grant, as always, thank you so much for taking the time to join us and break down a very complex subject. I have a feeling that we're going to see more developments here over the coming days, weeks, and months. Is there anything else that you want to add before I let you go?
Josh, it's a complex issue, and I think we need to be aware of that. And I think it's going to take some time to solve these issues.
All right, thank you again for taking the time to be here with us. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.